Okay, so I wanted to give you some tips on that pentagonal pyramid, uh, how to create that. So in our sketching tools for the 2D sketching, we have a polygon, which is kind of handy. So we're going to use that as a base or basis for our making this pentagonal pyramid. I'm just going to assume a unit of 1 inch, and I encourage you to use that globally linked variable so that you can control it parametrically. But let's just go ahead and do this. So I'm going to create a sketch on the top plane, and we're going to pull out a polygon, and we'll get that set up here. Let's go ahead and snap out here and maybe make it horizontal like this. And let's control the length of one side. We'll set that at 1 inch. This is maybe where I link it to the variable I wanted. And I just accepted that sketch. At this point, we can make a 3D sketch using our 3D sketch tools and start to come up with kind of these sides of my polygon. And let's see here if I can control that here. Notice it's coming out, depending on how I set this up, it's going to try to go orthogonal to one of these planes. And there is a way that I can control that here without having to deal with that. So what I'm going to do is create a 3D sketch, putting in a center line that is directly straight up and down. Let's see, I'm going to use tab to control that a little bit. And this will give us a place for me to snap to. And once I have that snap location, I can start to add some more dimensions and controls on this guy. So let's continue on and add some more 3D sketches. We're still in a 3D sketch mode. And I'm going to just complete all of these vertice edges, and we're going to add some relations so that with our parametrics everything will cascade down when we need to make a change. So I'm just working my way here around here. And the last but not least, so what I've done is, notice I didn't get a snap on that last piece. So here's this last edge. We want all these edges to be equal to each other. So let's go ahead and I'm going to hold the control key down. And all of these edges I've selected, and we're going to make them all equal. So if I were to change that dimension, and again, we would probably want to link this dimension to a global variable called side. All right, I'm going to OK that. And at this point, we're going to make a surface body. So I'm going to pull up my surfacing. If you haven't pulled up your surfacing tool menu, it's called Lofted Surface. Let's see, Insert Surface, Surface Loft, I should say. And we want to pick basically the base and then the side for the profile. So it's going to tell me the base and the side, and it's going to attempt to put a, in this case, a triangular shape in there. So notice I have my context for profile selected, so I'm going to highlight the edge. And what's interesting is I get the entire 3D sketch picked and selected, and I actually don't want that. So we have to use this thing called, I just got in my function, get back in, called Selection Manager. So if you're going to get into the surface loft stuff, pull up the Selection Manager as your first direction. We're going to select this one edge. We're going to select this other edge with my Surface Manager, and we've now selected the geometry that's needed as this base and then this edge, and I'm not really getting a preview. I should have one. If I don't, just grab the handle and pull it on down, and now it's previewing saying, hey, I'm going to create this lofted surface. So I got that, and I'm in good shape. At this point, we're going to create a pattern, a circular pattern of this surface body around my, I could use this basically construction axis here, or I could create a new axis, but we'll just use this one that's here. So let's go ahead and do that. So I got features and circular pattern, and I have a video about the problem with the bodies selection context menu. So you can watch that if you need to. So I'm going to select, see if I can show that 3D sketch, and I'm going to select, use my other selection, and hopefully grab, let's see here, let's see if I can get my, I'm going to go ahead and create an axis here, so I don't have to worry about trying to grab a piece of a sketch. So that axis that I'd want to create is through the front and right plane. What I've done is I've control clicked and held down front and right plane, and we can just do a reference geometry and create an axis. So that axis is going to be out there as a good piece of geometry. I'm going to move it up the tree a little bit here if I can. I have a pattern around here, so I'm going to hit my circular pattern, and because of that bug, and you can watch my bug video for the whole story on surface body bug, but I've got to click on the actual word bodies, and I can select my body. We're also going to want our axis and propagate through, and there we go. At this point, I'm going to create a surface down at the bottom. So we're going to use basically close up this bottom. I've got all my sides here by using what's called a planar surface. So if I using the menu Insert, Surface, and Planar, and it's basically saying, hey, what are the bounding entities? And I'm just going to select the edges that I want to close up here. So this is really going to bound this bottom of my pentagonal pyramid. Now let's just knit that together. It's really handy at this point to just set my selection filter to just filter surface bodies and select my knit command, knit surface right here. Click and drag. It only selects my my surface bodies. Try to form a solid and see what we got. I'm going to verify that it's a solid by doing a section cut through it, and yes indeed we are in good shape. So there's where we're at. So I'm going to go ahead and save that as my solution. So hopefully this helps. Just go ahead and pause and go back and forward, and hopefully this will get you the solution to making the pentagonal pyramid. Okay, thanks a lot.